Hey, welcome to the daily, weekly, not quite weekly vlog or something. It's a weekly vlog starting from now, probably. It's also a baggy t-shirt kind of day. It's a lazy baggy t-shirt day, whatever. Today I thought I would make a list. Lists are fun, aren't they? I'm going to make a list of all my current projects just to put things into perspective and just see how screwed I am, I suppose. All right, first things first. I've just finished some models. They are some silly Hooble Gooble guys that are on stilts, have snorkels, and ducks on their heads. This one is a real duck because I don't know, he lost his fake wooden duck or whatever, and it's causing him loads of issues. So yeah, I made those things. I have to print those and paint those. Speaking of which, let's start this list and we'll begin with paint my minis. So along with those guys, once I've printed them, I have still got a backlog of things. This dragon, I made this a long time ago, before I even started Kinsfolk miniatures. It sits on a little bit of terrain here. But yeah, it's this like fey dragon warrior dude. The Quetzalcoatl, the bird dragon thing, but also my Garuda, which I made for Christmas, I think. Also, we have my hand-sculpted Hooble Gooble druid. This is a cast, which I prepared because it was a bit bubbly. Again, it's a cast. I don't have the master anymore because I sent it to Annie at Bad Squiddo, but there's this guinea pig witch with a little broomstick, a little hat. I need to get that painted as well. So a fair bit to do there because there's some larger minis, especially the Quetzalcoatl is going to have quite a lot of different colours on it. I know some sculptors like to just do renders of their models. I quite like painting my own and having them presented like that. I just think I stand out a little bit more, and there's so many talented sculptors. I need to make a little bit more effort to make my stuff more obvious to people. Not that my painting is particularly good, but I mean, it's all right, it's fine. I'm very slow though. Speaking of guinea pig witches, let's move on to my sculpting projects. 2 more guinea pig witches that I want to finish and send to Annie. She didn't ask for these. She doesn't know that I made these unless she's watching this. One's just not enough. I feel like there should be 3 of them. And these poses are a bit more fun. You can kind of see the intended pose here. It's straddling the broomstick and going fast. And this one's doing more of like a side saddle, is that what you call it? You know, sitting on its side on the broomstick, a bit more casual. What I've also got is this particularly unimpressive looking childish, this is actually finished, if you couldn't tell. Now, if you watched one of my vlogs, you may have seen me sculpt this head out of cheap DAS air dry clay. This essentially is its body. This will become its face, and I'm going to sculpt over this with, you know, appropriate clay. And it's going to vaguely resemble this pose. This is like one of the first, probably the first Hooble Gooble I made. This cheeky little rascal guy. This is low priority, but I have this swallow that I started sculpting on an island. I did do a second armature. I'm not in a rush to do these. They're low priority. You've seen these already if you watch my vlogs. Folklore stuff. Here's a couple books by D.D. Cheney. This one also has Willow Wincham as a co-author. I mean, did you know there's a shape-shifting pink dolphin of the Amazon River? Now I want a range of hand-sculpted minis to be professionally cast. I think that'd be really cool. I don't really have the facilities or the skills to do it here, although shout out to Curtis at Ramshackle Games who invited me to come check out his setup and to teach me some tricks at some point. What could I do that might be a bit more universally acceptable? Because I'm not sure if I just did a range of my own silly little goblin guys if they would sell. I don't know. So I was thinking, what if I did some folklore ranges? Stuff that would be appropriate in any game setting or just for painting. So my current thought is water horse, of which there are quite a few. And the way I want to sculpt these is kind of based on their main attributes, such as one of them which would fly up a victim and then become like mist, and then the victim would just drop to their death. These horses are generally a nuisance. That one I would like to sculpt with, you know, like wings that kind of look a bit misty or cloudy, and maybe it's going from horse form or Pegasus form, if you like, into like mist. One might be a regular looking horse that's covered in seaweed or something like that. Maybe one has like the tail of like a fish or a whale. You noticed how I've not said any of these names because I'm not sure I can pronounce them. I will say this one, the Nukkalavi. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Nukkalavi is really cool. That is like an undead looking skeletal creepy horse that has the torso of a rider with really long arms, but the rider is like a part of its body. That's going to be sick. So I've got a few different tiles here. This is a 9x9, which is like the biggest I can print in one go on my printer. I've got a couple 9x12s. Here I've got an 18x12. Some of these might just end up being large grass tiles. I do want to actually build a structure because I've not done something like that in a very long time, and I'm bored of doing trees. But it will resemble more of a medieval fantasy building. It'll be like a tower of sorts. I've also got some bigger ideas in mind. I just want a lot of height. I want some interesting height, and I think, I mean, potentially what I want to build is an entire board, but all my stuff's on tiles for a reason, and that's because I don't have anywhere to put a big board, but I also don't have anywhere to put loads of tiles. So this is a canvas which I think my brother painted. I don't know. I have it now. Sorry. I want to make my own backdrop for photos. I could just buy some. I know Bad Squiddo has a load of interesting ones for sale, but I did buy some oil paints, and I haven't done an oil painting in a very long time, and I like the idea of having some sort of backdrop, even if it is just a few mountains and some forests or whatever. Other side, I'm going to create another backdrop, maybe like an underground. I'm going to create a little bit of, well, 3D depth using some rocks or whatever. Some sort of terrain related stuff will go within this frame. That's the idea anyway. All right, hobby projects. Lord of the Rings, the Middle-earth strategy battle game. I get the strategy and the battle mixed up sometimes. So I actually got my two brothers, one of them a Minas Tirith army set, the other one a load of elves. I can't remember which elves. I got them those boxes quite a while ago, and the other day I messaged them and said, shall we just like set a goal to have all these done by Christmas and then play a game at Christmas maybe? I did actually paint some Rohan like a couple of years ago, so I have some started, although all my paints are now different. For some reason I decided to do each one with slightly different greens. I wanted everyone to just have their own kind of colours. I might create a unified paint scheme, especially since I've got different paints now. If I can knock out all the Mordor orcs I've got as well, then I will try. Just found out this troll now belongs on a 50mm base, so I've got to rebase him, which isn't the end of the world. Make a decision about these goblins and these trolls. I did actually use a load of squigs to test out different speed paints, some transitions, just to see how they fared. Got a load of Underworld Goblin stuff primed and ready. So, goblins, yes, make a decision whether it's going to be for Old World or AOS, or can I do both? I have 6 Moonstone minis from the Fischerwelt faction, I think that's what they're called. Fawns and stuff like that. I did show these already. Do a little refresher. Look at this little guy. Tooting away. Moving swiftly on. Warp Miniatures, Arc World Warband. Got some Beast Folk. They're primed, ready to go. Get on with it. Frostgrave, or just RPGs, just general use stuff. I have this Maya Warband. I've gone through and I've scraped all the mold lines off already, which was annoying, but I've done it, I've prepped it all, and I need to get them primed. Look at these little guys. They're going to be a general use faction in Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago. That was my original idea anyway. I think this is my final hobby project, or obvious one anyway. Maybe I've forgotten something. I have a Trench Crusade idea. Now this faction doesn't exist, so I will just be creating my own faction that fits kind of it. Well, it doesn't fit in the lore. I'm forcing it into the lore. So this will involve a mixture of kit bashing, physical sculpting with clay, and some 3D printing of my own sculpts. It's not a quick project. I've been thinking about this for a while, but it's had to be a bit of a low priority. But I have talked about it before, so maybe you've got an idea of what I'm on about. But yeah, I'm thinking of the bigger picture in Trench Crusade and how another particular faction might exist in this time. I'm not going to make up rules and stuff for it. It's more of a aesthetic kind of what if, and the models I'll make will kind of look like they could be units with some, not rules, no actual numbers, but with some like some general vibes which might suggest rules. But that's something that's a low priority, but I am eager to do. So, has this been helpful? No, because the list is huge. What's wrong with me? Why did I do this? No, it puts things into perspective. There's a lot to do. I know what my priorities are though, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. But sometimes you've got to write things down in order to understand what your priorities are and where to focus your time. What I like to do is have a physical diary, because I realized after many years of trying to keep a digital diary that I just ignore it. I'll ignore all the notifications on my phone. Have a physical diary, it's more fun. What I like to do is before bed, write a list of all the things I'm gonna do tomorrow. Then I can just wake up and my agenda is already set. I don't have to spend time in the morning figuring it out, and I won't procrastinate because of that. This isn't foolproof. I will still procrastinate a little bit. It's unavoidable sometimes. So writing a list down, even though it's a big, scary list, is putting things in perspective for me now. So I'm gonna now break that down even further into shorter goals for each day, because if I just put my to-do list on a day as finish my goblins, I'm not gonna finish my goblins. So I need to break it down and not just focus on the end goal, because that's when it's scary and daunting. I'm getting deja vu. I may have talked about this already, possibly. Anyway, I guess I did a little bit of show and tell again. That wasn't intentional, but whatever. Since I did my last vlog, I have been away for a bit and my nieces and nephews have been around a lot, so it's been quite turbulent. So I feel like I needed to do this in order to just get my head back on track. Before I started recording, I just quickly supported those silly Hooble Goobles, ready to print in the morning, and yeah, I feel productive, I feel good. Right, let's do it.